All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Talk at 8. My name is Alton. I am the host of the show. As you can see, two of our guests have arrived. Thea's tendered her apologies. She's got a challenge currently. Aphinda will join us as soon as he gets connected. This is episode 68. As you can see, I'm not in my regular location. So I have one or two connection issues. So I've got my phone going on the one side and controls on my computer. I am sitting in a beach resort, for want of a better understanding, along the Cape Coast somewhere, Hermanus particularly. So I'm here, but Talk at 8 continues. So tonight's guests are Zama and Denzil for now. Aphinda will join us. So as is always, we have a conversation how sport changes people's lives, and you as the viewers are welcome to jump on, whether on Insta, YouTube, or Facebook. Give us your comments, tell us what you think, and join the conversation. Zama, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Tell us a little bit about who you are, man. I don't know anything about you.
Okay, I am Zama Matlhare, born in Durban, worked in Joburg for a few years, moved to Cape Town in 2016. I am a merchandise planner and a runner. I think
Okay.
that's really what I'd say for now. I'm very passionate about not just running, but movement in general. Something that I picked up later on in my life, though. But nevertheless, that's really what I do and who I am.
So how did you get into running? If you work in merchandise, how do you get into running? Why running?
I got it. I actually got into running by chance. I had picked up weight, and I think a couple of years ago when I turned 30, actually I picked up a bit of weight, and I thought, let me try and do something about it. And I didn't run, but I went to the gym and got a personal trainer, and unfortunately for me, he was a runner. So he actually got me into he is the
Unfortunately for
person that
you.
actually. Yes, because look, prior to that, I had never run. It's not something that I had done in school. It's not something that I had done in tertiary. In fact, it's something that I had always basically convinced myself that I couldn't do. So when I joined the gym, I just literally wanted to just kind of move and then see if I can shed a bit of weight. And he didn't really initially say I must run. We basically did weights and whatnot, and then eventually he would suggest that, if there's like a 10K run, if I can't go and do like a race there, and so I'd go. And initially I had told him I actually can't run. I told him, no, look, I don't actually run because I can't run. And he said, there's nothing like that. If you can walk, you can run. Um, and so that's literally how I got into running. And unlike most people, or traditionally how people really kind of gradually get into it, I literally did a couple of 10K races, and then the next thing I knew, he was basically pointing to everyone almost that walked into the gym and said, you see, this person has run comrades, and that person has run comrades. I trained them. And then I'd be like, but why would I want to run that? I don't even run. And he said, no, you can do it. And he sort of planted a seed. And before I knew it, like I think a year or two later, I ran my first comrades. And once, unfortunately, you get into that, then you're in the cult. There's really no turning back.
Why? Unfortunately, I got into. Firstly, unfortunately, I got into running. Secondly, unfortunately, I got into comrades. How is it unfortunate? Explain that to me.
Because I just think that it is something that is so huge, that when you don't really know what you're getting yourself into, you kind of just roll with it. And when you are in it, it's you, like I said, it's like a cult. You can't really stop. I remember when I did do my first one, I told myself I'll just do another one, and then I'm going to call it a day, and I'll just do a down and an up, and then I'll stop. And I mean, I just ran my seventh, so it's like you literally can't put a stop to it. You think you can, but then anything else just doesn't feel the same. The challenge is not the same. The adrenaline is not the same. So you kind of just you find yourself just going back. And I think in hindsight, if I had just stuck to, the shorter distances, uh I think a bit more, not gonna say fun, but I think there's a bit more consistency there, and there's less pressure as well there. um so it's kind of different. It's very chilled. I think Comrades does kind of put a bit of pressure on one's running, but look, I don't think that I would have it any other way, because it's literally changed. It changed my life. It changed everything about what I thought I could and couldn't do. It changed everything about also my confidence levels. And I think every day and every time I kind of learn something about myself.
Okay, we're gonna park it there, and let's have a conversation with a guy. I'm concerned about his shirt, but it is a sports show, so I'll let it go. Mr. Norkie, how are you, Mr. D?
Very, very good. Thank you very much, Alton, and thank you for inviting me. It's a real honor to just to have a conversation with you, and obviously also being introduced to Zama and listening to her amazing story. Um, so yeah, the soccer will always be, sort of the pivotal, the heart. That's like it's embedded in me. But there's also a running part to me that's also deeply embedded from so many different areas of my life. Briefly, Alton, we met each other in Cape Town, but I'm proudly born and bred in Port Elizabeth, and grew up there, went to school, started a family. 2007, I moved to Cape Town because I got a new job opportunity working in the firefighting industry. A company that I joined started a branch for in Cape Town in 2007. They are literally one of the biggest fire truck manufacturers in South Africa. And since I've joined them, my focus in the industry, I've become a product specialist in so many ways with regards to firefighting equipment. And obviously, I have a good understanding of the industry and how fire equipment works and that sort of thing. Um, then the sports, obviously, as I've only recently started running. As much as running was already part of my DNA from a very young age. My dad, my late dad, he was obviously instrumental in taking me out on the road. He would tell people that I started running with him since the age of 3. My mom will say to you, nah, she thinks it was like 10 years old or so.
Yeah.
And my dad used to always, extend the story. I told the story at his memorial that if he said that I ran 100 kilometers, then I probably only did 5 kilometers. But it was his way. It was his way of inspiring me to really become a runner. And then I only started really running and getting back into the running thing when I was here in Cape Town, and that was roughly about 2013, 2014. Um, and it was also inspired by a very good friend of ours, Alton, Melissa. I'm not sure if she's tuned in, Melissa Martin. I met her
Yeah.
through a soccer buddy of mine, and she became my physio. And for a couple of years, she kept on knocking on the door and saying, "Hey, you must come and run." But there's been a lot of inspirational people that was runners in my life. Back in PE, a couple of toppies that I was groomed by. Some just talked me into it. Some motivated me into it. Some bullied me into it. And eventually, I started running because of people like a gentleman by the name of Derek Hoshi, and also a late inspiring person, the late Mr. Peter Bashella.
Yeah.
And those were instrumental. And one day, that probably started turning the table a little bit more. I walked into Sportsman's Warehouse, um, and unusually, I was wearing a shorts, and I don't normally wear a shorts because I don't have the legs, like a Alton, that has nice solid thighs and calves, And it just so happened
Don't
it
listen
was
to
the
him,
day
Zama.
before.
Don't listen to him, Zama. Don't listen.
No, he's got some nice legs. He's got nice legs. They say you either have legs or you have chicken legs. So I've got one of those pair of those chicken legs. But I walked into Sportsman's Warehouse, and there was this gentleman. It was actually the weekend of the Two Oceans. And he walked past me and he greeted and he just said, "Hi, how are you doing?" No, so hey, you're looking good for the race tomorrow, young. Yes, and good luck. And I'm like, "A race?" He's like, "Aren't you running tomorrow?" I'm like, "No, I'm not running tomorrow." "No, but you look like you're gonna run tomorrow." And those were the little things that kept on just knocking at the door. And eventually I did my first half marathon Two Oceans in 2016, I think. 2014 or 15, I cannot remember. I must count the years, how many I've done over the years, and then I'll know. And that was the start of it. And then I never looked back. And eventually I ran one 10-kilometer Sanlam and met one of my high school heroes, Ilana Meyer, and took a picture with her afterwards. And she just said, "But why are you running the 10K? Why aren't you running the marathon?" And I said, "I'm not a marathon runner." She says, "No, man, you must be." Yeah. And she says, "No, next year I want to see you do the marathon." And I was like, "Yo, Ilana, that's a bit too early." She's like, "No, you promised me you're going to be." And Alton, I promised her.
Yeah.
And the next year I did my first 42 kilometer. And lo and behold, who was there after the race and who remembered me? Ilana Meyer. And she like, "You see, I told you, you can do it." And I think I ran my best time ever, and that was it. I started gradually getting into it, but it wasn't really, as much as I really put the effort into. I've been on and off, and it's because of my other passion, which is football. And obviously, during the winter I play soccer. During the summer I do running. So it's a bit balanced in that sense. But the running for the last 2 years have been a little bit downscaled because I also now started doing athletics, as you all know. I started running last year, and that just got me back into my high school younger days spirit and that sort of thing. So it's been inspiring in that sense. Just going back to thinking of back in the day, and also just meeting newer people and people that I've known over the years and never competed against, and that I can see that are still competing at master level and that sort of thing. I mean, ourselves, we've done some races together, and it's amazing just to be active at this age of my life at the end of the day. So the sport is deeply embedded. Running in soccer is only partially. We need 10 hours if you want me to tell you about everything else. But yeah,
sure.
that's
Sandy on Facebook is going all for the comment about the legs, your chicken legs and my legs. So if you've tuned in, good evening, welcome. You're welcome to join the conversation. We to Denzil and Zama. I see I got a message now from Aphinda. He's battling to log in, so you'll log in when he can. Thea's otherwise occupied, so we've got these two guests. You're welcome to join in the conversation. Give us your thoughts, your comments, whether on Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook. Tell us what you think. So Denzil, let me ask you this question. Now that you've run marathons and you're coming into the shorter distances, you're coming to play with us at 100 and 200 meter sprints. How different is that running with us old people? Where's Denzil now?
Yeah, we're back. Alton, I enjoy both sides of the coin, if I can say it that way. Running track is always going to be different. The track running for me is different because I never focused on, let's say, 100 and 200 in high school when I was running. I started out as a high jump, long jump, relay runner mostly, and then eventually, because of a specific teacher that came back to our high school, he was one of our first matriculants at our high school. He introduced me to 400 meter, but also because of my best friend at the time. His name is also Denzil. He was doing 800 meters and 1500 meters, and he needed a pace setter for the 800. And my pace sort of, sparkled something for my teacher to say, "But listen, why don't you consider doing the 400 meter?" At that time in Eastern Province or in PE, there wasn't under 17 400 meters. So I had to compete against the under 19s at the time. So currently, just enjoying that and realizing actually the only negative for me is realizing how much I've missed over the years with regards to not staying competitive on that level. And it's starting to impact because the hamstrings is not as strong as it should be for the 400-meter sprints, and now also for the for the long jumps. This year the my athletics was a little bit shorter than what it was last year. But competing at the level where people still want to compete, it's amazing. It's really amazing. Uh, I think you remember last year at the Western Province National Champs, there was a gentleman that jumped with us the long jump, Johan. I can't remember what is Johan's surname. And the inspiration to see a oak at about 120 kilograms wanting to jump into the pit, that's probably one of the most inspiring things recently that I've seen, that somebody that in his youth you would never have recognized him. And yet today, later in his years, he's still doing something that he enjoys, and that's just getting into the pit. And you know, Alton, we watched him, and for him it was about just getting into the pit. For us, was maybe still that extra getting beyond 3 meters or 4 meters. For him, it was just getting into the sand. And you know, and it reminded me about how we don't lose our childhood because when we get to the beach, we just want to be on the sand. For him, it was running that track and getting into the pit. That was his goal. And watching somebody achieve his goal is just amazing. It's really amazing and inspiring at the same time.
And you and Zamba can attest to it that I find now that more and more we have participants who are over 35, 40 coming into sport. And that is because of lifestyle challenges, high blood pressure, cholesterol, sugar, diabetes. They go to the doctor for a checkup, and the doctor says, "Sorry, my friend, you are slightly overweight. You need to do some exercise." So they become like Zama. They start with a park run. They go to a personal trainer. Then the personal trainer says, "No, but join this crew. We're gonna run." And then you have an unfortunate situation where you run a marathon. You know,
unfortunate, yeah.
don't look now,
Yes,
Zama.
pretty much like that. Look, and as I said, I think especially because look, at least Denzil, from the time that he was young, he was active. Like I said, I did zero. Like in school, I did zero sports. I did nothing. I spent my life trying to run away from PE. I literally I didn't do anything in school because I really was okay. I was a bit of a chubby teenager, but also I was just not really I wasn't active. I'm not athletic, and so I think with that in mind and growing up like that, when eventually I started running when I was now well over 30, that's why I was saying, look, I don't run because I didn't think that it's something that I can do. But however, as you're saying, look, it's when you do eventually start, moving your body, you actually get surprised that, you know what, I may not be the guy that's going to win anything. However, I actually can do something that will actually make me feel like I've achieved something. My body can surprise me. And now I even look better than I did when I was in my teens because now I'm actually more active than I was then.
Sure. Where you said you
Zama,
were running away from PE?
Balelo,
No, I
what you
asked
said,
Sama.
Denzil?
No, I asked her where from PE was she running from? You said you were running away from PE.
In my
Zama,
day, it was
your
called
friend.
PE, it was called PE, and then it was called PT. But yeah, that.
Okay.
Physical education. Physical
Physical
education.
Yes.
education.
Yes.
That Minister Gayton. Yes. As Gayton McKenzie says, he wants to bring it back. And if you look at my Facebook, I wrote a couple of points as why it's going to take us a while to get there. Let's go to some of the comments on YouTube. Umbelelo says, "Go Zama, go! I'm super proud of you, my friend Fifi. Credence Sweeney says, wow, Zama. Sandy Jacobs on Facebook says, well done, Zama. Ernestine Simon says, how amazing is this? Super proud of you, my brother. Clearly, that's for you, Denzil, because it can't be for
Yes,
Zama.
it's my baby sister, that is. Hello, Ernestine. Are you still there?
He's flashing.
Yeah.
So I think he is still there.
Yeah, I think his mic, we might have lost his, yeah.
And so how many marathons have you done since that time, Denzil?
I mean, I just realized now, I started thinking when I started. So I started about the age of 37. I did my first marathon when I turned 38. And since then, I've done about, in total, maybe about 8 marathons in total, because my running career has been a very on and off. You know, if I don't train enough, I don't spend enough time on the road. As a youngster growing up, specifically with my best friend Denzil, a few of our goals was to run the 2 Oceans and to run the Comrades. So far, he's far behind. He's trying to get back into shape. So I try and tease him that, he still has a long way to go if he wants to start running at least a half marathon or an ultra. So I was fortunate to at least run 3 ultras by now. And that's one thing that I'm very proud of, because I never seen myself as a long distance runner. I was a more short distance and that sort of thing. And I think that's what, the long distance always scared me, because I knew that I'm not able to pace myself, because I want to run and get over and done with it.
Yeah,
and
very dangerous in ultra.
yeah, so it's been a learning curve and inspiring at the end of the day. A bit sad that I'm not as actively running at the moment anymore, but I'm fortunate at least that, if I want to go run a 10K tomorrow or a 21K on Saturday, I just need a few runs during the week and loosen up the legs and go for a run. Yes, maybe now at my age, it's a little bit more difficult. I probably need at least 2 weeks to train for a 21K. So,
2
but
weeks.
then but then
That's lucky.
I'll still push myself to just get under 2 hours. And that's the bad part about me. There's a bit of a competitive streak that's built in that.
Yes.
That just wants to go at it and go hard at it, if I can say that.
Okay. See, with me, because I had nothing. Time is has never been a thing.
And that's the more inspiring thing. If you haven't done anything, if it wasn't something that you were thinking of, if it was something that you were running away from, and now you find yourself running to it, and you can't wait for the next race. You can't, I saw a meme the other day. If you want your kids to stay out of drugs, get them to start running, and the picture is running shoes. So when you start running, you just save you're saving for the next pair of running shoes.
Yep.
So you don't have time to think about spending money on drugs and other abusive, stuff out there. So yeah, get kids out on the road. It looks like it is. See, the gremlins are.
Hello guys, can you hear me now?
Now we have you back.
Yeah. We kind of took over the show.
Welcome,
yeah.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
I don't know what's going on.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. I'm back. Okay, I was following you on my phone, but you didn't see me. So you both have run now a fair amount of marathons. What's it like coming the preparation and the group experience of having people around you to run with? Let me ask you that question.
I think personally for me, because when I started running, I knew that I am firstly very slow, because obviously this is something that I don't have experience in at all. I kind of really did this on my own, because I didn't want the pressure of having to try and keep up with people. So I would basically just venture out on my own, and do whatever I needed to do. However, the good thing is that
Did you lose her, Alton?
Some-
Mm. Now it's just me and you.
so basically it's the good thing is that the community, then the relationships that you find in running kind of help. When I was in, and it actually doesn't matter where you are, because when I started running I was still in Joburg. So I think when I started running marathons and I met a couple of people, there is a very good lady that paces the last comrades bus, the sub 12 bus, Shahida. I met up with her and she really made me feel comfortable, and also, just being content with the fact that I've showed up and I'm also running the very same distance that the people that are faster are running. I might take longer, but I get the job done. And I was quite content with that for a while. Because remember, if for somebody that wasn't really doing anything, being able to finish and complete a distance was something. And it's like you literally ticking a box every time you are able to run longer. So it really does kind of then give you some sense of belonging. And it doesn't really matter what you do. And so I think right now also, every time I come across people that are wanting to run, that I just say, don't worry about who is running what pace. Just show up and do your thing, move at your pace, so that you don't feel like you need to be pressurized to move faster. Do what you can do, and you'll see at the end, when you eventually get to the finish, just being able to, to be able to have, done it and completed the distance, you feel so much better about yourself.
No, that's
Absolutely.
great. That's amazing.
One of the comments on YouTube says, I'm inspired to go back to run in my sexy pace. Really inspired. I
Yes.
lost motivation, but I have to go back. Who's that, Zama? You know that is.
I know, because that's the pace that we usually used to say, from the back, that it's a sexy pace. Because it's you either say it's the sexy pace, or we used to all Shahida say the buses that she usually drives is the sub halala bus. So you don't really have a time, you'd have your sub 2s, your sub 4s. Hers is sub halala, because really what matters is that you finish the distance. It doesn't matter how long it takes you.
Absolutely. On top of Zile says, I'm encouraged by you to, even at 38, I can start new things and surprise myself. Yeah, bo.
You
No,
can.
definitely. Definitely. Definitely.
Definitely. Berto Phillies also on YouTube says, lovely Denzil, you've always been an inspiration. So Denzil, Berto says that you're an inspiration. How has running changed you to be an inspiration to him? What have you done?
Not enough yet for Alberto, if I have to be honest. So I hope he's listening. So if he says that I'm an inspiration, then I think maybe he must just, listen to his own words and really be inspired, because we played football together in PE, and and I think maybe he just needs some extra motivation. I'm not gonna reveal anything else than that, but though it's really having known you and having known how competitive you were when you were in your prime. I'm not saying you're in a different prime right now. Um, and that's the thing. We can all go back to where we want to be. And like Zama says, the race for everyone is a race. The idea is to finish the race, you know. And the most important thing is, do you have the courage to start the race at the end of the day? And I mean, listening to Zama, she didn't need people around her. She wanted to just be by herself, because she didn't want that pressure about, but you must do 5 and you must do 10 and you must do 21 and then 30 and then 40. For me, it's different. I joined the running club, and immediately everybody assumed that this is a fast guy. you know,
You got
and
the
still
loop,
today
Denzil, you got
people,
the loop.
and that is one of the things that I've had to just work through, you know. Yes, in my mind I'm still running a sub 10 100 meters, but you know it's not really true anymore. But to have the belief to have the belief that you can do it, you know, and push yourself hard at, you know, doing that. And yes, if you don't achieve the goal, you don't, but like Zama said, did you finish the race? Yes, you finished the race at the end of the day. And that's the important, you know. To my friend Berto, it's getting up and starting the race. And if you run the race for 5 minutes, then you've run the race. If you've run the race for 20 minutes, you've ran the race. If you've run it for an hour, you've ran the race. And that's it. Your race can be for 5 minutes. My race can be for 5 hours. Zama will go to 12 hours because I think she's more crazy than me and Elton. But I mean, it's every individual for itself. You know, we set our goals and we achieve those goals in every day. And I think it's the
And
most difficult thing is to achieve other people's goals that they have for you.
That's it.
That's one of the most difficult things.
for me, the hardest part of any race is getting to the start line.
In
Because the
Cape Town traffic,
preparation. Say again?
in Cape Town traffic on a Saturday morning.
No. I'm not talking about track racing particularly. Because my 100 meters is at 8:30, which is horrible to set up because it's ice cold and you got to warm up at 7 o'clock and stay warm. So
Yes.
besides that, the hardest part for me is actually physically preparing to get to the start,
Preparing.
not getting to the start as in the start line. It's
Yeah.
the preparation of weeks in advance, what I'm going to eat, what I'm going to drink, how much training I need to do, what kind of training I need to do to get me to that start line. When I get to that start line, I'm level with everybody and I can only give as much as I can and to the best of my ability. Whether, to your point, Denzil, whether it's a marathon, whether it's a 5K, whether it's a 10K, whether I'm running an 11-second 100 meter or I'm running a 5-hour marathon,
Yeah.
it's my best that I'm delivering. And if people understand that that's what sport's about, it opens a whole new world for them. Because to your point, I'm not running to beat Sambini. I'm running to beat my personal best to be a better athlete for me. Whether I'm Western Province champ or whether I go to Africa champs, whether I go to world champs as a 100-meter athlete, that's the bonus. It's about being better and being successful at what I do, right? Abelela says, as for Denzil, he is what we call a top runner. He has paid the price. You got chicken legs. She's super impressed by your chicken legs.
I'm glad you didn't post. I'm then glad you didn't post the picture of me running on the track there, the one I sent you. So that you'll be convinced.
I was going to, I thought, I'd rather not.
Now, you know, Elton, with regards to, I mean, just recently, I've got friends. When I say, look, now I'll come run with you, then they're like, no, I can't run with you. You can't run with me because you're just going to run fast. Then I said to them, but then I'm not there to run fast. I'm there to run with you. I said, I always tell people, your race starts at, get out on the road, go run that 1 kilometer, go run that 2 kilometers, and go run that 3 kilometers. And you start out, if you run 20 minutes at 3 kilometers, that's your race run, you know? And then all you have to do from there is to try and improve that. You know, can you keep on running at the same time for 3 kilometers and then start improving it? You know, it's little things like that. It's creating those little milestones and not looking at everybody else. So,
but also, you know what? It's also not really. I think for me, it's not always about trying to better or improve on what I ran previously. Sometimes I just want to clear my mind, and so I go for a run. And sometimes I just show up because I want to have fun on that run. Like if because I think sometimes having the pressure of my last time was this and now I need to be able to do better than that, it kind of sometimes takes the fun out of the sport. There is, I think, a place and a space for trying obviously to be better than what you were. But I think, to be honest, the bulk of the time, really what you want to do is get out there and move. You run, you still got a run done, it still counts. It's
Yeah.
still mileage, because also sometimes you show up and the body's not really maybe into it, and so you may not run a better time than you did before, and it has nothing to do with whether your training was good or bad. It's just maybe just not a good day, and that's okay. Because sometimes when you put so much pressure on yourself, you are going to be so depressed after that run now, because you've run your worst time now for some reason. And you don't have to be. It just, at the end of it, if it wasn't a good day, it's okay. You can just say, you know what, today wasn't my day. It wasn't that day, but I got a run in still. It still counts because I still ran, and that's okay. And then sometimes you show up and you actually have a good day, and it's you. So you kind of learn to appreciate the good ones and the bad ones, because you get both. Because sometimes you don't know what's going to show up on the day.
100%.
Look at and part of it again is your mental space and how you prepare. And Denzil will tell you that as a coach, you don't coach the player who's on the field. You coach the entire person, not just what they're bringing on the day. Because I may have had a bad day at home. Now I bring all of that drama with me to the field or to the training. So my mind's not even on the training, because I've got drama happening at home, I've got drama happening at work. And to your point, I'm just coming for a run just to clear my mind, or just to get into a happy space. You know?
100%. For the times that I involve with a bit of coaching, especially on the soccer side of things, I tell the boys, you come into your happy place. Don't bring everything else here. This is your happy place. In my age, we joke in the soccer team in the vets league. This is your time away from the wife, from the kids. Leave all of that behind. Don't come here with your issues, man. We all ran away from our wives. And you sit there and you sit in the corner and you laugh, because it's true. The guys just want to get away. So and sports does that for us. Especially for the youngsters, you don't know sometimes what is actually happening in his home, and just to try and to get him there the first time, that's luck. That's absolute luck. If you can get him to come back the second time, the third time, the fourth time, and every other time after that, then, Alton, I know that I'm doing something. Because the first time that he got there might have just been, somebody says, no, just come with us, man. Come off the street, just come with us. And having him there for the first time, I honestly say to you, you have him there because of luck. The most difficult thing is to try and get him back there. And if you can achieve that, that's where I think a lot of our coaches today lacking to get the youngster to come back again. And it's the message that you send to them at today as well.
Denzil, I had a conversation today actually with somebody, and I was saying, and I've said this before on the show, for every one person that you interact with, they go and tell 11 other people. So what message are you giving that person to tell 11 other people? Those 11 people tell another 11. Zama, you know your maths? 11 times 11 is what?
Wow. Why are you putting me on the spot now?
121. I'm a sports guy. I know a little bit of maths. I know a few numbers.
122.
I use a calculator most of the time. And the only thing that I really do calculate is my pace versus the distance.
No, that's good. No. This guy knows his maths. A salesman knows his maths. A merchandiser knows how to pack it, how to make it look good.
Yes, definitely.
So Denzil, you're impacting 122 people by just changing that person's space. If you think about it, it's mind blowing if you think about it from that perspective. You bringing that guy back. He's going to tell 11 other people. They're going to come and they might tell 11 other people, and that's how it goes. Sean Norkie says, "I'm so proud and always inspired by you, Denzil. I always try to do everything what you do, but you took the cherry on top when you started the marathon. I will always look up to you.
That's my sister. She's my. We are five kids. She's the third eldest. My second eldest sister. And just a shout out to her. She is probably my next inspiration because she's achieved certain things that I haven't achieved. She's also a very inspiring goalkeeper. She's also a very inspiring all-around footballer. She was very unfortunate to miss out her opportunity to play for Banyana Banyana. Um, and I love you, and I have a lot of respect for you. So thank you for tuning in as well. And I think the reason why I am because of where I am is because of our father. He pushed us in certain ways. Even my elder sister now, that's in between of us, and at the age of 44, she started playing soccer again, and she's playing soccer with her daughter. Um, so to give you an idea, at least background of our family, we're a very sportive family, and it's because of our dad. Our dad really pushed us in so many ways. He wasn't always there to watch us, but he was always there talking about us, talking to us, and reminding us how good we can be as well. So yeah, that's where that comes from.
Denzil, your friend and mine, Angelo Noon, the guy who's currently in a moon boot,
In a mood.
says, "Go Denzil and Elton." So he's currently in a moon boot. He's just coming off his 6 weeks of being in a moon boot, and then he'll come back onto the track with us. I had a conversation with him earlier today. He's posted a message on Facebook. If you've just tuned in, you're welcome to join the conversation on Facebook, YouTube, or Insta. Tell us your thoughts. Join the conversation. What do you think of these two guests? Zama, Denzil's now spoken about his family support. You moved from Joburg to Cape Town. What kind of support do you have here in Cape Town?
She's so here I'd say it's purely friends. I think the reason I'm actually here on your show is because a friend referred me. So it's the running family and community that I was able to basically meet and interact with when I moved here are the people that are basically my cheerleaders. They're the people that are inspired by me. They're the people that inspire me. They're the people that I try and maybe I think sometimes kind of try and also push and encourage to say you can actually also do it, because there's nothing special about me. I don't even have the natural talent to do what I do, but I do it anyway. It literally is just the discipline and the work that you put in to be able to, like you said, show up to the start. So I think my support structure is really my friends, and most of the friends that I have here in Cape Town are the people that I've met through running. My family, my physical family, all over the show. Obviously, my parents and my sister are in Durban. I have my sister and my husband in Joburg. But look, they also very supportive and also very always there. I mean, my sisters have showed up for each and every comrades that I've done. They are on the road to the start. My dad drops me off, but my sister are always en route, and at the finish they are always there to be able to basically take me home. So they've journeyed with me from the time I ran my first big thing, which was the comrades, especially knowing that I had never run before. So my family was obviously very shocked when I told them I had signed up for my first run. But the physical support that I have here in the city is really through my running community, my friends that I've met through because of running.
Zama and Tombi says, geez, the Norkie family is on flames. It's a pity the Goma family didn't join Zama on the fitness journey. Even though Zama has been influenced by a 74-year-old father to run.
Yes.
Oh, all the family secrets coming out in this show this week, I tell you.
That's my okay. So that's my sister. Look, it's my dad. Funny enough, I actually can't even remember when he actually started running, but for one day he literally just decided that he was going to run, and I'm pretty sure it was after retirement when he started running. And I'm not even gonna tell you what pace or whatever he does, but he would. I knew that he was like a very disciplined gym person. So at the gym, when the gym opens, he's right there at the door. Um, but and then through the whole COVID thing with the gyms being closed and whatever, he got into the running thing, but then he got a bit too addicted to the whole thing that he never gave himself rest days in between. So now we had to actually try and talk him to actually rest in between. Because I was worried that he's gonna hurt himself. I mean, we even myself, because I started running in my old age, I know there's injuries and things that can happen in between. And so I was worried that look, this man is now basically just running. And even my mom was worried, like, look, this man is now just he just wakes up and run every day, each and every single day. He became like a very avid vitality point collector. I eventually had to buy him a watch so that he can get his max points, because he actually used to only get his points through a park run and swiping through the gym. But yeah, geez, my dad became even more of a fit fanatic than I thought I'd ever be. And both of us are late bloomers because we only started basically being active at our old age. Him even worse than I am. In fact, just yesterday we were having a conversation about discovery, vitality points, and miles, and all sorts of things, because he's very invested in that whole thing. That's like becomes his pastime thing.
I like how you said you started in your old age at 30. We're on the right track here.
Because in sports, 30 somehow is seen as like a retirement thing. I don't know. I kind of feel like every time, even in football, somebody is 30 and they've already written him off on the bench. And then, so it's like, sheesh. It kind of feels like I don't know, a retirement age of sports. And that's when I actually started moving.
Zama, you know the saying, it takes a village to raise a child, ne? You know that saying?
Yep. Yes.
So Mbalela says, as Fifi's friends from high school, we tell people we've run 6 comrades under our belts because Fifi is running it for us. It belongs to all of us, the whole community is going to have a green number because you're running and they're there to support everyone.
That's so true. That's so true. You're not just running for yourself. Yes, you're not just running for yourself.
But you see, Denzil, they're not only running, they're there to support that every comrade. So they drive down from Durban, they fly, from Joburg everywhere to support them. So they're there for everyone. Yeah. So if by right, they should also get the green piece of paper that says, well done, my good and faithful servant. Here's your green.
That's it. And there's I know comrades runners get very entitled about certain stuff like the gear, the caps, and whatnot. And I give that stuff to my family because I'm like, look, this person wakes up on the day with me as if she's running, and she's right there from the time I start running, right through having to fight through traffic, trying to find me to give me whatever it is that I want to drink, right till the end to take me back home. She deserves this just as much as anyone else that's on here on the day. And every single year she shows up. So she actually deserves it. I don't have a problem with with our supporters and the people that cheer for us. They are the people that make us. They encourage us and actually help us to be you literally on the road and you're thinking, I know that there's someone that is out there that's waiting to see me. So I can't just, chill or decide to give up on the way because they're waiting for me. They literally on there because they're like, okay, we're waiting for Zama to get here so that we can give her stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know,
One of your running partners, Liesel Lewis, says she's also a holder of a Comrades Medal because you ran for her.
Oh yes, I gave it to her.
And Odwa says, a community medal, great idea.
Yep. They're our cheerleaders. So they
Exactly.
deserve the medals like us.
No, Razama, you're right. You know, those that actually they put in the extra effort just to be there for you at the end of the day. Those are actually the true heroes. You know, when I ran my first half marathon, 2 Oceans, I always knew that it's an amazing race, but getting to feel the people coming out of their homes, standing in the morning on the side of the street,
That's it.
just shouting it for you, and then you forget, you walk past some, you run past somebody, and they say, Denzil, don't stop, come, you must still go. And you're so focused on just running, you forget that your name is on your
Your name
shirt,
is
and
on the
that's how they know,
paper.
Yes. And you think, how does this person know me? And that is what I've always enjoyed about getting back into running, is that on race day, you are reminded that people are there to support you. Like on the ultra, you come off into Rhodes Drive onto the M3, and that little small hill, you realize, but there's just, you don't have anything more left, and people scream at your name.
People
They
are
say,
shouting your
Zama,
name.
you're
Yeah.
almost there. Come, don't give up. Those are very good moments that keeps you going at the end of the day. And those are the people that are true heroes, because they actually lift you up and carry you and keep you going at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So
It's
yeah.
like I saw now the other day when someone at some race, and they said, keep going. You can't be walking. I've been standing with the sign since 8 o'clock this morning. Why are you walking?
Yes. Yes. That's one
Look,
of the classics.
look, I think also for the people that are close to you, these are the people that have actually also watched you put in the training and the work into basically being able to show up for
Yeah.
that run. So they know how much you've sacrificed. They know how much work you've put in to be able to show up on that day for that race. So it really does become a community thing. That's why eventually when you do get to your goal, because they've watched you through the whole process, it's so rewarding, not just for you, but for everyone else that's around you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Liesel says she totally agrees with you. Odwa says, oh, Denzil, especially the families on Southern Cross Incline, we appreciate
Yes.
them on 2 meters off, because they're standing
Yes.
there and you can barely run up that road because it's so jam-packed with people celebrating and shouting with you. Even on ultra going up the neck, you can barely
Yes.
move because it's closed in on you. But those are the people that make the race, that get you
Yes.
going. And
Yes.
even
True.
if they
100%.
like you and say it's just around the corner, the finish line, keep going, it's Omi Dry. It's not Omi Dry,
Yeah.
but they're motivating you to keep going.
I have this very fond memory, Alton. Again, back to my first 21K, at somewhere on Rhodes Drive there, coming through the winding road and the uneven road. I came past this family sitting in their car, and they were playing the music out loud. And this is something I will never forget. And the song that was playing at the time was, "Baby, you don't know what it's like. Baby, you don't know what it's like." And at that time, I was like singing, "You don't know what it's like." And it was so coincidental that at that time, you're halfway there, you're trying to get through this, and this song plays, and I think that is one of the most iconic moments for me in starting my running career, or long distance running, if I can put it that way. And that's a moment that stays with me. And eventually they also started singing, "Yes, we know what it's like. We having coffee and you running." So
So,
yes, really kudos to those people for always coming out and just supporting it in the day.
So let me ask the two of you this question. Why do you keep, what gets you to keep coming back into training and into racing? What keeps you coming back? Why do you keep doing it?
I think for me I'd say it almost always gives me a purpose. Like I kind of have like a new thing that I need to work towards. And also there's the adrenaline of knowing that you are training towards something. I know once you like when you kind of get it, I'm not gonna maybe leave comrades aside. Maybe this weekend, for example, we've got the Bloberg Marathon. Like before then, I was kind of like, geez, I've now, because like now what? Because yes, it's fine. I can just go out for a run and do whatever. But when I have sort of like a goal or something that I'm working towards, it helps me, it grounds me, and it gives me a bit of direction, because then I know that I need to follow a certain rhythm, a program, because now I'm working towards something else. And when in the absence of that, I almost feel like I'm kind of lost, in a sense, because then I have nothing that I'm working towards anymore. It kind of feels like I'm just now like kind of pointless. Yes, there's rest times where you'd maybe take a break for a couple of weeks, but then I need a center again, something that I can work towards, to just get my my body moving again, and get my, what do you call it, my endorphins up, and also be able to usually put like the program or plan on my fridge to be able to start ticking off stuff again. It kind of feels like I'm working towards something and I'm achieving stuff as I go along.
So it's almost like you have a purpose now to get up every morning and not just to go organize a shop floor, a shop window.
And not and I don't even run in the mornings, because I'm a horrible morning person. I run in the afternoons, but literally to be able to say, okay, today I did that. I was able to do that.
Denzil, why do you play football in winter and run in summer?
Alton, it's a lot of different things. I'm gonna use something as an example. Playing football, most of my football career I've been a goalkeeper, and only in my later years I realized the pivotal meaning of being a goalkeeper as a sportsman, but how it actually reflects in my life with regards to, if the goalkeeper don't pitch up, nobody else is going to want to put up their hand and go in goals, or the guys won't be able to enjoy the game as much as they would want to have, if the goalkeeper was there. So it reminds me that if I don't pitch up on the day, then nobody else is going to have fun. Nobody else is going to be shouted at, or just a reminder. But hey, even though I've let in 2 goals, we can still win this game. And goalkeeping has allowed me to also understand something that I've also now recently learned is an acronym, as KOKO. In life, in business, in work, in your religious life, in just keeping friendships. If you don't KOKO means keep on keeping on, then you're not going to get there. It's really about KOKO. And as a goalkeeper, I've learned that I'm the one that has to pick up the ball in the back of the net and look at 10 guys and says, let's go again. Let's keep on keeping on at the end of the day. It's very difficult for me to give up in my workspace, in my career, because I'm reminded that as a goalkeeper, I would still go pick up the ball in the back of the net and come back next week, come back on Tuesday, come back on Thursday, come back again on Saturday, and still play again. So being a goalkeeper has been something very pivotal in my life with regards to just reminding myself that doesn't matter what happens, you're there to keep on keeping on, and that's the important thing. And you don't know that you might inspire somebody if that person just sees you keeping on. And that's one of the things. That's for me. That's it. You don't know how you're going to touch somebody just by being there. So pitch up, do what you have to do, put a smile on your face, and keep on keeping on. and that's what I've been sort of living by for the last couple of years. This is cocoa.
So we'll cocoa on to the next point. We'll keep on keeping on. Balela says, one thing also, Zama has given us a few mini heart attacks when she finishes a comrades marathon with only a few seconds before cutoff. This year was the first year she did not make us panic. So clearly your training is improved, Zama, for you not to give them heart attacks, you know. They want that green number. Not only you, they want the green number. So you better up the training.
Look, I think with that, especially, I suppose it's only my first one where I gave myself even the mini heart attack because I was convinced I wasn't going to finish. However, I think this year I did things a bit differently, which sort of also surprised everyone else, because I finished within an hour instead of seconds of the gun, and it's it really, you know, in my mind I thought maybe it will be more painful, but yeah, I think the distance is literally, it really just goes to prove it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter how slow or how fast, the distance is just painful either way. But I every time I go and I start at the start line of comrades, I tell people, if you do not have a strong heart, please do not track me. Because if you do, also maybe it's advisable to have on the side a drink that is a little bit strong, just to calm your nerves, because this is a 12-hour trip and it is a ride. Unfortunately, I can't keep updating you and telling you what is going on, because anything can happen in 12 hours. However, it is what it is. Rather not check me out. We'll speak at the end if your heart is not strong. But you need a strong heart to be able to to see me through this. And my friends, year after year, they keep doing the same thing. And afterwards, like, oh, Zama, but really, why do you keep doing this to us? But this year, I saved everyone a heart attack and we're all fine, except for, I think, a couple of friends that are close to me that knew that I'm actually trying to finish an hour earlier and they were having a different mini heart attack.
Because you were not on track.
Zama, does that mean that last year the whole of South Africa or the Springboks was watching you? Hence the reason why this time around we made it to give they also made it to give everybody a heart attack by doing it one point at a time.
They made me feel what I give everyone every single year.
Yeah.
Denzil, Bertha asked a question on Facebook. He says, are you guys doing sports for fitness only, or is there something else? For me, the socializing part is what I enjoy. It's what's good for me. Why do you do this, Denzil? And why? And in closing, why would you recommend someone else to do this?
You know what, Alton? There's a lot of things, but what I've realized in running is that you never know what friendships you're gonna find out there again. You know, my soccer buddies tells me, you know, I don't know what you're chasing or who's chasing you. You know, it's not about who you're chasing or who's chasing you. It's literally just actually finding that next connection. You know, the running community is an amazing community. At the end of the day, they stick by each other, and that's what it is. We have this humanity about us that just clings us together at the end of the day. I mean, like Zama said earlier on, the thousands of people that's on the side of the road that just comes there because they either have really nothing to do to come and watch you run for 12 hours, or they are just being, you know, they just have a level of humanity just to come and support their fellow human being at the end of the day. And who are you not to run, not to pitch up that day, you know, to just come and enjoy yourself, and actually you're there to do something for yourself. And for them, it's coming to watch you and coming to support you. And it's also, again, something that our country is so amazing about, the way our people just stands together when it comes to sport in our lives. And I think that's one of our strong points in our country: sports, sports is just an amazing. I think we should change this whole issue with regards to, we have issues with lack of work in South Africa. If people get paid to come and watch sports, imagine what the stadiums will look like at the end of the day. We'll be having amazing support at the end of the day. So yeah. So a lot of things for me, Alton, but just the love of seeing people coming to support you, and then just taking the time and effort to be there, and that sort of thing. It's always been an inspiring thing at the end of the day.
Awesome. Zama, from your perspective, are you doing this for fitness, or what's the reason for you to do this, to connect with Liesel on a run on a Tuesday afternoon and catch up on the gossip?
Look, I think it's for me it's health. It's health and fitness. I'm not a competitive person by nature, so it's never really to compete or anything, but it really is just to keep moving. This is why when when people ask me about health, I always say you actually don't even need to run. You can walk. Take a walk. Just move. It's you don't even need to do this crazy stuff that I do. Don't worry about me, because obviously my levels are at a my crazy levels are different. But the important thing is that you are moving your body, because this is about keeping yourself healthy. And a walk is actually very healthy. You don't have to walk for an hour. You can do a walk for 20 minutes and it's good enough. So for me, yes, even though the base and the how I began still today, even though sometimes, yes, it does become about times, but the important thing for me is that I'm moving. And when I'm not running and when I can't run, I will still go to gym. I am going to I'll lift weight. I'll go to a spinning class. I even started. I learned how to swim now a couple of years back, because it's something that I couldn't do. But it really is about moving my body. So this is about. It's about health. It's not about competition. It's not about anything that's elaborate. Literally, just to make sure that my body is moving and I'm keeping healthy.
Great, because that is the key, is keep the body moving for your own personal health. Everything else is a bonus.
It's a bonus, yeah.
In closing, Zama, what would you say to everybody else? Just your closing comments about sport, about health.
I think basically what I would say is that find something that you enjoy. It might not necessarily be running. It's different for everyone, but find something that you enjoy doing, that that you will continue doing without anyone having to force you to do it. But find something that speaks to you, that you can do consistently, to keep yourself healthy, that even it doesn't matter what age you are, that you can still do. And you will also find that your body is actually more capable of doing more than what you think it can. You just need to to get out there. Just get off the couch and do something.
Gugu, are you listening, Gugu? Because Gugu says on YouTube, keep the fitness inspiration coming. Your daily videos really motivate me to get on the treadmill, even for 5 minutes. Your discipline is amazing. So what you just said now is you motivating her to get off the couch to do more than 5 minutes. That's a challenge, ne?
Even if she gives me 5 minutes to begin with, it's okay. Let's start somewhere.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You have to start. You have to start somewhere, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Mr. D, from you in closing?
Alton, let me just say thank you again for the opportunity. It's been really amazing. And Zama, it's really nice listening to you and your story and your adventure. And you one of the lucky ones. You go out and enjoy yourself. I still have two devils, one on my left and one on my right. That's always pushing me to do just harder and go at it. But I've realized that it's part of my way of I don't just run for myself. Like I said, when I started running, I literally started running because my dad wanted me to run. So when I go out, I literally run in memory of him in so many ways. I try and do it as hard as I can, as best as I can at the end of the day. But I also run because of friends like Alberto, my old school friend Denzil. He was actually the runner, and I started running late. So I do it not just for myself. I do it to hopefully inspire the people in my life and everybody that knows me in some ways. And something that stuck with me since I started running was something that I sort of forgot over the years, but it was a few lines from one of my first athletic heroes, which was Michael Johnson. And I'm just gonna glance over and I'm gonna read it to you.
Yeah.
Life is often compared to a marathon, but Michael Johnson, think it is more like being a sprinter. Long stretches of hard work punctuated by brief moments in which we are given the opportunity to perform at our best. That's Michael Johnson. And if there's ever anything inspirational that people want to just look at, go and Google Eric, um, Eric Richmond, 1992 400-meter athletics athlete. It's one of the most inspiring stories that I've ever come across in athletics at the end of the day. So go and Google him. His story was amazing, and yeah, it's very inspirational, and it speaks to what I've said earlier on. We just have to try and keep on keeping on.
And just as you say that, Sandy says, awesome show. Thank you, Alton, Denzil, and Zama. Coco. Just as you said, Coco, that message came up.
Wonderful. Derek Redmond.
So Zama and Denzil, thank you for joining us and sharing your journey. Denzil, again, I must apologize to the viewers for your attire. I can't apologize enough for the shirt that you're wearing. We all have problems, and you have Denzil with his Liverpool shirt,
I always say when people start mentioning the Liverpool people, then it's people that want to hide in the closet, So they can't stand us when we're out there. So we just bring it different.
I don't even follow EPL. I'm just stirring because I can.
I thought as much. Keep the entertainment going.
Exactly. So guys, thank you everybody for tuning in. We'll be back next week Thursday again. Next week Wednesday at 8:00 for another show of Talk at 8. Tomorrow night at 6 live on Facebook and YouTube, and live from the Afrika studios will be an interesting show with a young lady, Daniel, talking about the SDGs. Heard of SDGs? Sustainable Development Goals. How climate change has changed people's lives, and she talks about that. So tomorrow night's interview on Afrika Radio, but also here on Facebook at 6:00, we'll be talking about things like that. So until then, thank you everybody for joining. Thank you the two of you for showing up. The training to show up. The medal is now for the community. They can have the video and share it because it's on YouTube. So that's the green numbers, Amma.
Cool. Thanks, Alton.
Thanks, guys. Have a good evening. See you soon.
You too. Thanks. Bye, Zama.
Bye.